Eric Faber, my grandson, on where I was while I was in the Army. Entry into the Army was accomplished at Houston, Texas, January 1959. And I went into the reserves over in West Columbia. Stayed there for about 3 months. From there I went to Fort Chaffee, Arkansas in 1959. Basic training. That's very, everybody knows what basic training is anyway. From basic training out of Fort Chaffee was, I think, 10 weeks. And after that in 59 again, I got shipped out to Fort Ord, California. Went to cook school. About a 6-month school. Not bad, easy, nice weather and all that. Finished that after the 10 weeks. Got my orders there. And I was going to, and I'm reading something, I don't know what I'm reading. Fort Chaffee, Arkansas. Yeah, no, Fort Chaffee, Arkansas. I went to them.
Yeah, you went to Fort Ford.
Yeah, Fort Ord,
California.
Fort Ord, California. Consumed my last 6 months. I was a reservist. I'd go in for 6 months, and they couldn't touch me for the whole time that I was required to have military duty. And came back from there, went to work doing odds and ends, different where I had to go to work. And Martha and Lee offered me a job down in their jewelry store down in Freeport. As a clerk, I guess. I didn't know what was going down there. I got there and I went to work. They put me behind the counter and gave me some tools in there. It's Christmas time. And that little old store wasn't even too much bigger than here. You never were down there, I don't believe.
No, never have to go.
It wasn't too much bigger than this part right here. You're working the elevator, so it was pretty good. But I guess I did some good, because at the end of the time, we closed for Christmas. I was going back up to Bowling. And Lee says, you want to go to work here? I said, I thought I was working here, you know. He says, no, I ain't permanent. We need help. Your family, why not? So I stayed there for about 3.5, 4 years, which was good. And salesman, Lee gave me all the help I could, he could. Somebody raised in the country town anyway. At the end of that time, I had to go back to active duty. I went back to active duty. They sent me out to...
It's been, what, 1963 or so?
Yeah, that's about 63, along in there. And it's just my history, and I can't even remember it.
All right.
And went from Freeport back to active duty. Active duty, they sent me to Fitzsimmons Army Hospital. And I was there as a cook. Stayed there, 2.5 years or so. And after that time, I got tired of it. And I asked to go overseas. I'd already re-enlisted and had enough time to spend about 3 or 4 years with them. So I got to the Fitzsimmons, did that duty all the way through Fitzsimmons Army Hospital. It's right in Denver. It's still there, but it's not a hospital anymore.
Mm-hmm.
An office building, I think. At Fitzsimmons, I was assigned to the 249th Field Station Hospital as a cook. And that was a 1,000-bed, semi-mobile tent hospital. And you think they don't hold a bunch of cots and a bunch of tents?
Oh my goodness. Well,
anyway, they got in there. They had a unit training deal that lasted about 3 months. Taught you how to pitch the big tents, how to do this, do that. And that was very good. You'd be surprised how many people don't know how to pitch a decent tent.
That's right.
Oh, it was really good. I was good to that. I liked that. And got promoted from private to PFC. Got my orders, came down, sending me to 240, from the 249th up to the main hospital company, which was good. No more field duty. From there, I got orders in about 1964 no, 63, no. Anyway, I got an order to go. It's sending me to the 12th USASA site in Hokkaido, Japan. And these are the guys that sit and listen on telephone, on headphones, all of you, and you'll be available with that once you get in your training and all that. As soon as I got up to the order section, they said, "Hey, here's your orders." And I said, "Okay, I gotta cut some. I gotta hit them here and send them in." "No, that's your orders to E4." So I made E4 in the transfer. Which was good. Which was good.
Back to the main hospital and the 249th Field Station. Where was that? Where were you stationed for that? Was that overseas?
Fitzsimmons Army Hospital, Denver, Colorado.
Oh, that was still in Denver. Okay, got it. So
Denver,
now we're
Colorado.
Got it. Now we're in 1964, Hokkaido, Japan. Okay, and you got your E4.
Yeah, I got my E4. And while I was there in Japan, I was working the meat market. The old boy that run the meat market got transferred somewhere else, and I got commissary manager. Big deal. Wasn't that big a commissary? We're all Japanese, and they really did everything. For me, I didn't have to do much. Stayed there for a while, and then one winter day, a bunch of people come from Okinawa, all white and funny looking little beanie hats. And I noticed what they were doing. They were ski training. They come up there ski training, come back, well, I said, "Well, I should do that." Anyway, I talked to the guys a little bit, and I said, "Well, damn." I was about the end of my three years. And said, "How'd you guy get into that outfit?" "Well, the sergeant just lets you put in a request for transfer and come on down to Fort Bragg. I'm into Okinawa." Fine and dandy. Got there. Got sent to D Company, D Company, the 1st Special Forces, as a cook. I keep emphasizing that cook shit.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, got down there and stayed 18 months in there. Had a good time. We had a good mess sergeant. Had some pretty good Okinawans helping me with everything.
Mm-hmm.
And had two other GIs. I wasn't the ranking man. I was the way down the line then. Anyway, we got in the race for best mess hall on the island. We did that 3 months in a row. Now you think you don't have to hump to get that shit done? You do. And we got best mess on the island for 3 months in a row, which is good. Wasn't too bad. And in that 3 months, I got my transfer in to request to go to Fort Bragg and train. It took me a total of about 2 years to do that, from 63, 64 I left there, go to training site. Stayed there for about 15, 16 months with a couple of trips. Well, one trip from Fort Bragg to Fort Sam Houston, Texas, where we went to basic medical training. And after that, we were got 9 weeks. That was 12 weeks. After that, we got 9 weeks at one of the hospitals in the area around Fort Bragg. And there was Fort Jackson, South Carolina, where I went. Yeah.
Wow.
It just happened that way. Anyway, we all got. I'd made E5 in the process there at Oklahoma. I failed to mention that. Spec 5, E5, and I stopped off. Should have kept talking.
No, you said you went to Fort Jackson, South Carolina for your 9
Fort Jackson,
weeks.
South Carolina, and we got finished up training there. Went back to Fort Bragg. Got into what we call a dog lab. We got instructor training the first 6 weeks, all given by doctors. Finished that all. Good training. After that, 12 weeks, 15 weeks total, and went to back to Fort Bragg. I was at Fort Bragg. We got all that training, got through with it, finished all our testing, graduated, and here come the orders sending everybody out from their out of training group. They have a training group, it's like first Special Forces, 5th, and all that. Mm-hmm. That's a group. That's about 4 companies, five counting headquarters. And got my orders, Vietnam. We all knew it. I don't think there's a man out of that 47-man class that didn't go to Vietnam. Some liked it. I don't know. I was ready to go. From there, they sent us to another training class, free mission training, or Vietnam. Met up with your team. We started functioning as a team then. You didn't go anywhere else all together at one time.
The 6-man teams?
12-man team.
12-man teams.
12-man team had 2 officers. One's a captain, one's a lieutenant. The master sergeant was the guy really in charge of the whole. He's an older fellow. Had to be. We had 1 intel sergeant, 1 heavy weapons sergeant, 1 light weapons sergeant, 2 commo people, 2 medics, 2 engineers. That's total about 12 people.
Mm-hmm.
And what we did there, they recruited from the local populace, which was a mistake for the local populace, which was all fucking BC. But it worked out. We got them trained anyway, and got through with them. We started running. We were running operations all along the line. Mm-hmm. So the local patrols and this, that, and the other. We didn't have anybody hurt bad. A few frags and this end of it stepping off in a hole. It's a rice paddy where you. Mm-hmm. That's a rice paddy where we were. And we were the facility we used there was an old rice mill where they processed the rice.
So whereabouts was this in Vietnam? When
it was west of Vietnam, about 24 miles.
Okay, so it was actually...
No, west of Saigon.
West of Saigon.
For about 24 miles.
So the first in-country missions you ran were west of Saigon, about 24 miles.
West of Saigon. We usually had 2 men per patrol and about 90 to 100 men on the patrol. We had experienced hands in there. Some of these kids, 20 years old, already had 4 or 5 years combat, you know. If you live it, you suck it up. Mm-hmm. And one guy got a frag. I can't remember him. He pissed him on. We went about 2 miles from camp when he got that frag. Oh, and he pissed him on about it hurt him. Finally, I gave him a shot of morphine, and he walked back to the camp. I went and took that son of it. But anyway, we kept on with that for almost the whole year. We got hit 3 different times. They were in the camp, not in charge of the camp, but they had overrun one fence there that we had, which was the concertina wire, and they overran that. They hit us with a reinforced battalion. And we were 12 men, about 10, because 2 of them were in town, and then about 300, what we call strikers. There you go, Vietnamese guys. And they worked out good. We had 1 company in the bunch who was the best, and they weren't Vietnamese, they were Cambodian.
Really?
Yes, sir. They were Cambodian. These guys were good. I welcome going to work with them. A very, very good bunch all the way through. Stayed in Vietnam until about December or so.
This would have been December 65?
Or 64.
64? Okay. Mm-hmm.
Got through with that, got my orders. I'd requested that I go back to Okinawa. I got it.
What were you doing in Okinawa?
Okinawa, I went back to being a medic.
Okay.
See, I'd already dropped my cook's MOS at Fort Bragg. And being a medic's the deal. PT in the mornings. Take it easy for a little bit. Zap. Back to Vietnam.
How long were you in Okinawa that time?
That time was about 6 months. Medics didn't stand a chance of getting too much time in Okinawa because they were short of medics all the way through. Mm-hmm. About 6 months, I was on the 6 months TDY team, temporary duty, TDY, temporary duty.
So 6 months back, now you're back to Saigon?
No. We're going in. We were at Kon Tum. Kon Tum, that's north. And our job was to train a battalion or we called it a hatchet force. It was a reinforcement bunch for our recon teams, which are 6 men, 2 Americans and 4 indigenous. And if they got into trouble, they had to have some relief, because 6 men don't shoot very good. We went against a battalion.
Yeah.
So we got them, and then get stitched them out on their training. Most of them had more training than we did anyway. And got them all trained up. Started doing all these missions and everything. We went there for 6 months, but we had 2 wounded of ours, lost 3 or 4 of the light strikers, and the recon team, these guys were great. They had walked that path back out in there for years and years and years and years, and they could tell you where the next stump was almost. But it was good. A lot of experience with them. Didn't lose anybody.
Now, at this time, when you came back, what, and I'm going to may get this wrong, but what division, or what was your, you know, what division, I mean, were you in the 82nd? What was
No, we're Special Forces.
This is all Special Forces.
All
okay.
Special Forces.
Okay.
So we got to Fort Bragg. I mean, got back to Okinawa, which was the first group. All right, you had 6 months. I went back down there. Temporary duty, that means you're just down there for a while. You're not really assigned to the bunch. So, got that cleared out. Got, yeah.
And in Khartoum, you were there for how long, you think?
6 months.
6 months in Khartoum.
6 months.
Now, you were still temporary duty when you were with them, or is that was?
Yeah,
okay.
it's all. When they say temporary duty, they don't get you out of Special Forces.
Gotcha, okay.
You're in Special Forces the whole time.
Got it. Okay, that makes sense.
We stayed at Khartoum, doing this, doing that. We got hit 3 times. Marquis got a frag in his eye up here, right in his eyebrow. Coming in all blooded up after they kind of got smoothed out. And there were 2 medics. Both of us were E6. So I said, well, what's your date of rank? Usually the ranking man was the senior. I said, how you want to handle this, Ron? He said, don't matter to me. I said, well, you don't have a senior medic. You got 2 junior medics. They figured, oh, that's fine, you know. The Marquis had been over before. He was good. And we got back after that. Well, it happened right in our camp. We killed a bunch of them. They didn't kill any of us. Got back to camp, and I said, come on, let's look at that eye. But man, he took the patch off of it. It had something wrong with it. And I got to looking at it, cleaned it all up, reached up there and click, frag about that big, hit him in the eye, right in the eyebrow.
Wow.
Right there, just, you know,
Just
limit. And he's lucky he didn't wear glasses, or he did. It probably would have blinded him. Got those guys squared away. Went back to Okinawa.
okay.
There again, that would have been
That would have been close to 65 then, wouldn't it?
pretty close. I didn't in there. I left out part, but it doesn't matter. It's all the same stuff. We went to back to Okinawa. Where am I now? I'm in Okinawa.
Yeah, after you went to Khartoum.
They went to Khartoum. They shipped us back to Okinawa, but we just moved back in with the company. You know, we started doing regular duty. Well, a friend of mine called from Fort Bragg. He said, they're forming up a team. You want to get on it? I said, well, where are we going, Spencer? Back to Vietnam. Sure. Yeah. It was interesting. The medics didn't have a chance of over about 3 or 4 or 6 months back out of Vietnam during that time. And in that process, I had made in 64. Right there's where I made E5. No,
Yeah.
I made E5.
And then it must have been during 64 at the end when you got E6, because you said you were in E6 in Khartoum whenever.
Yeah. Khartoum. And got from there. It's hard where you can't remember your own damn where you've been all your life. But got that done. Got the request for, and if they needed a medic. Oh, on the Korean team. Now this is all the SEAL First Special Forces dollars, but we went to the Korean team as advisors to the Korean Special Forces. No change in anything. Still had the same old people. All you see, everything was the same. But we went down there, and this was not TDY. This was permanent duty station change.
Okay.
So it's supposed to have been a 14 or 18 months tour. about that. And we started helping with them, training them. We did a lot of work for KMAG. KMAG is Korean Military something or other assistance group.
Okay.
They're the ones that dealt with all the Korean armies and all that other stuff. We stayed with them for that time down there.
Were you just training their medics? Is that what you were
No,
doing?
they had all their stairs trained up.
Okay.
When they went somewhere, we went with them.
Okay. And so where were they? They were conducting missions.
They weren't conducting missions anywhere other than they sent people from Korea, not in the Special Forces deal, but sent them down to the regular army in Vietnam, their bunch, and assisting the Vietnamese.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
So it was interesting. And got them in that process.
So were you in Vietnam?
No, we were in Korea.
Korea, okay.
And the North Vietnamese tried an infiltration from the coast. This is in Korea, infiltration into the coast. Well, the Koreans are dearly mad at the North. I mean, they are something else. But anyway, they got word from an old farmer that walked across about three miles of mountains to tell somebody there's some people in my village that are not supposed to be there. So they got on it. Short after that, we were on trains going down to the coast. This, for Seoul is, we were about over here on the coast. And I can't remember none of the names of the damn town. We got in there, and they started running their missions. And what they did, which it was used in Vietnam too, they'd have 2 helicopters fly out where people could hide, this, that, and the other, trying to draw fire. They draw fire, and another helicopter was ready to go back, and they sent the guns in on them.
Okay.
And if any of them rushed out of camp, they had more helicopters around there. If they rushed out, they shoot them like rats in a barrel. And that was good. That lasted about 4 months. I was glad to get back from there. We didn't have the facilities. We were sleeping out on the ground just like they were, which was good. In Vietnam, we slept in houses, whatever was there, fed in.
So when y'all were engaging, like whenever you were in your pontoon, when they ran, charged your fence, and y'all had to engage the enemy. As a medic, how much engagement did you have to take on, or was it?
Everybody in the team had points to go to if we got hit. Okay. We had 3 teams at that place besides us. There's 4. So I left plenty of medics. My one position was the 60mm mortar pit, and I was there to pass rounds, pull charge. You know what a charge is on the deal? It's look like a packet.
A little packet, yeah.
Of look like sugar. Pull charges. They'd say, "Give me 2 more rounds. Charge 6."
Okay.
And I would tell them how far it was going out.
Yeah.
And all that helping in the sick bay when we needed it. Not doing much training, because when they go to train in a recon team, they start with recon leader, which is an American, and then he had an assistant, which is, they call them 1-0s, 1-1s. 1-0 is the leader. 1-1 is the second man. And that's all the Americans on that team, and then the rest of them were four indigenous. They were very excited. They made a shit pot full of money. They did. I mean, they made the goddamn Korean army look like a peddler.
Really?
Yeah. They made a lot of money, and they did pay those guys every month.
Almost like a mercenary, I guess.
Yes, so to speak.
So to speak.
Yeah,
so like when you were with KMAG and you had that coastal invasion, and you said you had 4 months of I guess conflict or direct contact
to a point.
Yeah.
We went out with them, in their helicopter and everything. They set up their little headquarters deal, and I got with the doctor, and we set up what we needed to set up.
You were setting up your medic,
our little sick bay place, and all that shit.
Okay, so that's what you were doing there. You didn't have to go out and actually engage at that point.
If they would have needed us, they would have sent us.
Yeah.
At the camp, we had a doctor and 2 or 3 medics there.
That makes sense. Okay.
Well, they was a hard charging bunch, They weren't that hard though. The Koreans kicked their ass. I mean, tell you. Well, get back to that old man in there.
Yeah.
He must have been 70, 80 years of age, and he walked 3 miles across the mountains to tell them that somebody new was in his village. Like walking around New Day a year. Grandpa's place down there, you could tell that old boy don't come from around here. Where'd he come from? So anyway, they played the same thing. That they'd fly in, they drew rounds, they'd run the guns on them and all this shit. They did capture 2 or 3 of them. They brought them in, interrogated them shortly there, then they shipped them to the Korean. The Koreans took over all that shit, got it done. We lost, didn't lose anybody there. Harry was on a helicopter on one of the recons there with one of the higher officers in the special forces there, the Korean special force. We had to. Harry flew out with them to show them something, and in the process, this is 9 miles from nowhere over there, and they're flying out there. And one of the tricks they pulled with these helicopters, the North did, and they did it everywhere else, I guess, but they would string wire just about head high off the ground. The helicopter likes to fly down there because you're below the hills and all that shit. He can get a good shot at you if you fly over, like boom, there he went. So they hit a wire and tucked the doctor down, put it down. A couple of Koreans got bunged up. One senior officer got bunged up a little bit. Harry was too dumb to get hurt, but he got hurt, not bad, bruises and all that stuff. But they went back out there, and they had that shit strewn. And if you're going to protect something, you try to put something around it that's going to slow them down, kill them, whatever else. But you can't put it that evident. You ain't let them see it. So you try to put it as hard as you can out there for them to get through it, but you don't. This wire hung out there, and it's just like clothesline wire, number 9 wire. That was there. Nobody had any idea that they were going to run that damn thing. But the good part about it was all the way through, we stayed busy. If we didn't have anything to do it to camp, or weren't getting ready to go out somewhere, helping somebody doing this, helping somebody doing that, we were doing something. I mean, we didn't just sit around all day and play cards, But it was nice. I don't know something to say it. But after we come back from that, I had in the process, I had made E7.
Okay.
I made E7, and I went to back to Fort Devens, Massachusetts. Oh shit! That's the end of the earth. That was done.
Did you meet Suni while you were in Korea the first time?
Yeah.
Okay.
I didn't put any of that in there.
No, it's okay.
But I met her in one of the local villages. We were pulling Medcap patrols. We'd go out to the local village, get to this head man, and he'd say, "We got to gather your people up. We're going to do a little sick call." Okay, fine. Boy, they come streaming out. We'd look at them, give them some pills, and in that process of doing that, we found a young man that had been hit in the eye with an explosion. A piece that punctured his eye, and it was just dripping, fluid. So the doctor, I said, "Doctor, we've got to do something with that boy. He's going to die. That's going to get infected. He's going to die." "Yes, I know that." He was a captain. And we made arrangements to get him back to Dr. Kim. Made arrangements with his professor at the hospital there in Seoul to get him looked at. And the process got him looked at, admitted him to the hospital, operated on him. In the process, they put in what they call a sphere, like a marble, back in the eye, after they took the other one out. The reason for that is it maintains the muscle control. You don't realize how many muscles you've got in your eye, but you shit load of it. And he got that done. We had all his papers and everything else. His dad was a farmer. And in that process of him getting that eye fixed, they just tell me when in the process after that was that somewhere in there somebody stole his daddy's bicycle. And that's one of them big heavy jobs that they didn't ride this so much. They loaded it down with whatever they wanted to haul. You know, with cages and tie-ups and everything. They'd take it to market, sell it, come back. Well, in the process, Pop didn't have that bicycle. He didn't have any way to make a living. Well, we were in a compound there at in Queens. It was out of Seoul. They had a civilian repair facility for medical. I mean, for military vehicles. Some of them nothing big, not little. We made a deal with the guys there. They were all civilians, like a military man in the bunch. We made a deal with them. You know, says, can you fix that bicycle? What bicycle? The one that was stolen. This guy here. I didn't know they hadn't told him. Yeah, I could fix most anything. It had wheels on it, you know. You could take your truck, tear it apart, and put it back together. That's how many people they had and good stuff. Well, got them finished. Got it all done. We went out to the camp, took the bicycle out to the camp. It was painted, fixed up, looked better than a new one. You know, he'd reinforced with a lot of spots that he knew was weak. Took it out to the camp.